Okay, so tonight I want to talk about something it's a little bit confusing to me when I was started looking at it and working on the D app, and it's the difference between call versus send in Web3 JS. This little article here from Bits of Code goes into it, but basically what you have is call is when you're not changing anything, when you're getting data. It's kind of the send is when you are going to change something, when you're setting a parameter, when you're sending values uh, to the contract, and it's kind of like the difference between a get in HTTP, or if you do Ajax or you use curl. Call is more like a get, and a send is more like a put. And I think that if you start thinking of it in that way, I'm just trying to see, yeah, they define it here. They also get into, and I think we've talked about this before, a pure function doesn't change anything. It doesn't read or write. It just does something. View reads, doesn't write. Payable, expecting payment. And then they talk about unspecified. Now, a payable and if you write data unspecified, those would alter the states, and those would then be a send. So you use the call when you want to just get data, and you use, like, here's the example they use in this article, get name. So we were using it with like get cost or get provider. Those would be calls. When we do the deploy the contract, we use a send. And the this is when they explain, let's see, reason to is okay. So if you alter the state, then that's where you get into the gas and the transaction, which makes sense. You're changing something. You're making a transaction. You're not just pulling some data from the contract. You're actually transacting. You're actually paying for something. You're actually changing, doing a transaction that changes something. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. And what I'm doing right now is trying to get the contract working, the Web3 stuff working just the way I want it to. We should, right now I can deploy a contract directly. And I think it was getting confused before, but that now the next step in terms of that, let me see if I have, probably not. Oh wait, I do somewhere. No, let's see, I think this is it. Nope. Let's try, oh, this should be, let's try this. And see if, here we go. So what I'm trying to do here, so you see I send it, I set up a clean Ganache workspace. The problem, I had to give it enough gas to get that to work. Because remember, this is a send. We're going to send. And then what I'm trying to do now is when it's done sending to get it to actually run some other code. And I believe that's because I define these things not in the then. They're defined within the if. So what I have to do is define them outside of component and do mount, or get the data again, which you know, I don't know if we want to do that. I think we'd rather, because the thing that we need here on this is Web3, which we have, accounts, and the contract is instance. So instance is not within the, I believe it's, the problem is it's not defined within here. So that's what I have to play with, because when I tried to run it, it was complaining that cannot find, well, actually it was complaining about set state, and that it doesn't know about set state. So that kind of surprised me a little bit, because it was working down here. So I'm going to have to play with that a little. That can kind of be a pain in React, you know, where the state is. So we shall see on this. Anyway, hopefully this has been helpful, and you can see I'm going to put this link to this blog post in the description, because I think this will be helpful when you're playing with the Web3 stuff and the MetaMask stuff, to understand what kind of call you have to, what you have to do, whether you have to do a call or do a send, and the implications thereof. So anyway, hopefully again this is helpful, and if it is, please give a like, please subscribe, please ring the bell to get further videos, please tell your friends who may be interested, and I will speak to you next time.